Hey everyone, welcome to another interview with Scale My Cleaning Business. My name is Alex. I am the co-founder of Scale My Cleaning Business, where we help commercial cleaners grow and scale and help them towards their goals, especially as we're approaching 2022. Today I have with me Nick from a company called SoTellUs. Today we're going to be diving a little bit into his story, going over a couple of tips and tricks to help you become a much more productive and sound entrepreneur and business owner. And also, he's going to be given some insights with his software company that he works with, and how you can just boost your presence on Google and become more known, as well as get some referrals. So happy to have you on, Nick. Thank you so much for coming on here.
I appreciate you having me on, Alex. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, just a little bit of background. Nick and I actually talked. We recently went to the ISSA conference in Las Vegas, and Nick and I kind of connected. He had his booth. We were talking about what he was doing as well as what we were doing. We're sharing some really cool ideas. Um, but yeah, really quick, Nick, you had such an interesting background. You weren't always involved with, kind of the Google side and helping businesses grow. Yeah, what is your background? Like, what got you into doing what you're doing today?
So there's a few things. So I was in the fitness industry. I still am for a long time. But when I was younger, like around 19, I was running my own Amazon FBA business. Well, everybody who's ever been on Amazon or knows anything about Amazon, whether it's FBA or drop shipping, stuff like that, you'll see that reviews are like the number one thing on Amazon. So if you want to like have a profitable business on Amazon selling products, you need to have reviews. That's the number one thing that they tell you. So when I was doing that, I realized how important reviews are, and it wasn't just for the product. I started realizing how important it is for all the companies, and I started thinking about it for myself. Every time I go to buy a product on Amazon, I always check out the reviews. The pictures, the videos, the way the listing looks is great, right? I'm obviously I don't want to buy a product that's got a one blurry picture that you can't tell what it is, but it always mattered more that I saw like if this product had 10 amazing pictures, the pricing was $10 cheaper, but they had 5 reviews, and the product below them or above them has 2 pictures, and but it's $10 more expensive, but they have 200 5-star reviews. I'm always going to go with that product every single time because I realize that I'm gonna take the opinion of 200 people who have already tried this product out over than what the seller is actually trying to give me. So that's when I realized like how important reviews really were. I started working in the fitness industry. Shortly after that as well, I was running a nutrition shop, personal training, doing nutrition coaching. I do all this online still. And in there, I started learning a lot more about business and finances, and I just got really into that aspect. And I watched what I did for the company that I worked for. I went in there as a part-time employee. By the time I left, I was offered a good salary on top of part ownership in these locations, and it was awesome. But I decided to go a different route, and I actually came over to SoTellUs. See, so it was awesome coming here because we're a family-owned business. It was a smaller company that I was able to make a larger impact on, like I was at the previous business I was at, and doing also by just helping these clients, improve their social proof online, actually showing the results that they've gotten. Because, I mean, you can have the coolest looking website, you can have the best promotional material, you can, spend thousands of dollars a month on marketing, but people really want to see your results. I mean, people, if you're a brand new business and, you can spend $10,000 a month, but if you don't have any customers to show that your service is actually working and that you have some happy, satisfied clients, then most consumers aren't going to want to go with you because 88% of consumers nowadays online, they trust a 5-star review just as much as a word of mouth referral. So when I started realizing all this and just how simply we can, you can grow a business just based off of the work you've already done. It's like an untapped, like an untapped resource that you already have that you just got to start getting into. That's just kind of what really interested me. And then just the environment we're in here, it's awesome. So made it really easy to make that change over. And then I continue to do my other business on the side as well.
Now you're making me want to work there. I'm just sad. I might have to ask you. No, I'm just kidding. But that's amazing. So yeah, and I feel like that's maybe something that could be, a little bit commonly missed, especially when you're starting out is, even if I only have one or two customers, but they're happy, how do I capitalize that? How do I translate that into proof? In marketing, we call it social proof. How do I show that to new prospective clients? Because then I want to really, in the end, just attract not even just more customers, but also similar customers, ones that have the same maybe pain points, or they're looking for the same type of benefit that I'm providing that makes me different than, other cleaning companies. And I think you do that very well. Actually, Nick has started to work with a couple of people that we're helping as well. And that side is very important. I mean, Nick, I don't know if you do this, but sometimes when I am looking for maybe, especially in a new place, maybe like a restaurant or like a bar or something like that, I'll go right to Google. And if it doesn't have like a 4.7, like I'm really bad with reviews. I almost feel guilty because I'm sure like a 4.5 restaurant would be equally or sometimes even better than, one that has better reviews, that's maybe a little bit more hyped up. But it's true. Like, I mean, I look on Google all the time for so many different things, just seeing, what's good, what's not good. Amazon is huge for that. I mean, that's like a core of any type of Amazon business. What would you say maybe to someone that would be starting out? Like maybe someone who only has maybe even just zero commercial clients, maybe they had a couple residential, or maybe they just have one or two commercial clients. Like what would be the best like next step for them, do you think, to kind of start getting themselves out there and all that?
So definitely grabbing the social proof, right? And when I say getting social proof, I do want to specify this should be reviews. Now, the difference between a review and people often hear testimonial is the fact that a review is actually verified by a third-party company, but a testimonial is not. This is why review pages on websites tend to be one of the most visited pages on a site, but testimonials always tend to be one of the least visited. It's because people don't know if they can trust a testimonial, and it's not saying that they're not true. I believe that most testimonials are true. The thing is, though, is that you just can't prove it. They don't know. It's just a quoted text that somebody put in there, and then they put, by John Jay. Like, we don't know if that's real. That could be somebody from the company. That could be somebody who wrote it up themselves. So that's why I really do recommend getting a review on a third-party company, whether that's on Google, whether that's on Facebook, Yelp, Home Advisor, House, Angie's List, or, like our company, SoTellUs. And then what you want to do is make sure that these reviews are going to be displayed anywhere that the customer has a chance of finding your business. So we want to make sure you should always have social proof on your website. That's like the number one thing. Any reviews that you have, even if you're not using a service like us where we can actually put the reviews on your site, Google, Facebook, Yelp, these companies all have certain codes that you can embed on your site and display your ratings and your reviews. So at least this way, when a customer does go on there, they can see that these are actually Google reviews. They're verified by Google, which everybody trusts, right? And it's still going to show that social proof. So one is your website, because most customers are going to research you and they're going to Google you before they even call you. Now, the next one is your social media, especially Facebook. I highly recommend getting reviews on Facebook because Facebook's the second most used search engine to look up a business other than Google. So if somebody doesn't see your business or doesn't look you up on Google, the next place you're going to is Facebook. So you want to keep your Facebook active and engaged and display your social proof on there. Personally, I do recommend videos if you can get them. Those are some of the most important ones. With our system, we have a patented mobile app. We're the only verified video review system in the world, and we make it extremely easy to get a video review. Even if you can't, it's still technically going to be considered a testimonial at that point, but I'm way more inclined to believe a video of a customer testimonial than a written testimonial. So if you're going to get a testimonial, at least get a video, put that on your website, because this way there's not really any faking that. You're still going to have a customer, you're going to have a customer, showing off their emotions, their gratitude, and you get to actually see them. And, if you're a cleaning company, maybe you're residential, and they come in and maybe you can even surprise them, right? Bring them into a room as soon as it's all cleaned up. Maybe it looked terrible right before you guys went in there, boom, they come in and they're in shock. They're like, oh my goodness, I haven't seen it look this good since before I was, a parent, right? Because anybody who's got some kids, you know how hard it is to keep a clean house nowadays. So those are some things I recommend. Also, posting into your Google My Business, use the free features that Google gives you to help you rank, right? Getting Google reviews is free. That's going to help your business rank. Posting to your Google My Business. A lot of companies don't know about this, but Google has a little posting section below your reviews. You're not going to see it if you haven't used it before. So you have to go into your Google listing and actually edit it and go post into there. It's another way that's going to tremendously help ranking your Google listing. So putting reviews on your site, putting them on your social media, and getting them on your Google listing as well, and just continuously posting in there. So those are three very simple, easy things that will definitely help your conversion rates. And then also at the same time, it's just going to help your online presence and just your online reputation, because it's also going to protect you and, again, show that you're an established business with these happy, satisfied customers. And we want to make sure that they're on as many places that the customer can actually find you.
That's awesome. Another thing that I've seen from even our side is, and this is one thing that I've recommended before, is sometimes if a cleaning business owner goes and they see some of either their own reviews or even some of their competitor reviews, they could use kind of the wording that they use in either like their offer or even just like things like on their website or their presence. So sometimes, like, I don't know if you've seen this, but sometimes like certain areas, they really focus on the like maybe one quality over others when it comes to cleaning. Like maybe it'll be more like about the reliability of cleaning, or it'll be like the personalization. Like they'll actually use words that will attract more customers, if that makes sense.
Right.
I don't know if that kind of makes sense, but like even in like our systems, like when we do like the outbound systems to reaching out to new prospects for the cleaning companies, like we'll use those words like reliability, professionalism, like just based on the research we've done. So it's like whatever your customers say, good or bad, like I would recommend listening to it in your own business.
What are you known for, right? Asking your clients what you're known for and just capitalizing on that, right? Like double down on your strengths.
Yeah. And do you recommend for in the commercial, I know you said you worked with a lot of commercial on the commercial side. Do you recommend that they try to cater to maybe one or two type of business owners, or do they kind of just focus on, kind of that service part? Or do you think they should focus on a type of building or, property, something like that?
I guess that would really just depend on the business, right? Like, are you having massive success in a specific niche? Then I would target that. Like maybe, let's say, for example, I don't know, like office buildings. Like we're in we have an office here, a bunch of rooms, but then down the hallway there's a bunch of other offices. So maybe, a commercial office like this could be, could be like your niche market that you end up doing much well for. Or doing a little bit better with. But I always say it just kind of depends on what you're going for. But we also want to make sure that we're casting a large net too, right? We want to make sure that we can get as much fish in the barrel as possible. So I wouldn't always say single out the specific one unless you're just having massive success in that niche. Stick with that niche and just keep growing and doubling down on it. And then eventually that net will widen out itself anyways and start picking, different fish or different clients from these other types of industries, I guess you should say.
Perfect. And I know you touched on a couple of these things. So when it comes to, let's say that, for example, I'm a new cleaning business, I just got my LLC, I got my license, everything like that. Maybe I have an employee. What would be maybe just three things on Google that I should focus on to just boost my rankings? Like if you had maybe two or three things that you would say are maybe more important than others.
So if you're new, and it depends if you want to save some money or not. If you have a lot of money to start spending, right? There's different tactics. I recommend everybody save as much money as possible when they're first starting, maybe, unless you have that capital. If you have that capital, I'd recommend doing some PPC, a little bit of Google AdWords, using all the different features that Google's giving you, like I said, to help with those rankings. But if you're a new business, maybe you don't have a lot of capital, maybe every dollar really does count, which is a lot of businesses, especially in today's world right now with everything that's going on. I'd recommend kind of things that I already said. I would recommend definitely doubling down on Google reviews because Google wants to see your reviews. That's how they recognize you. Two, posting into your Google My Business, another part of their algorithm that they're going to use to recognize you. And then I do recommend SEO. If you can get some form of SEO, whether it's, paid SEO, or if you're doing one kind of through our service, we run it organically, SEO is going to be very, very important because that's how you're going to start actually ranking you and other links that it's connected to you and your website to the front page of Google. So I would say personally, those are the three most important things that Google is going to be looking for. How much organic traffic are you getting? How many reviews are you getting? And how often are you utilizing your Google business? And to do that, you want to be posting into there about as strategic as possible would be every 3 days, but at least once a week.
Got it. That reminds me, I haven't posted in a while, so thank you for the reminder there. That's amazing. So yeah, and I think one thing a lot of cleaners might not realize is there's so many free tools like this available, out there. So you don't have to, even if you do have capital, sometimes it could be better to set that foundation first, get those reviews, get your presence going, at least have something to build on. And then you can kind of look at those, those paid type of things. So yeah, that's perfect. Anything else you recommend in terms of, getting as many reviews as possible, working your network, getting more referrals, anything like that?
Yeah, so as far as getting reviews goes, ask everybody for a review. Ask them in person if they can't do it right then and there for you, which a lot of times, unless you're using a service like ours, it's a little bit harder because you have to send some form of a link or they have to go online and look you up. But I'd tell as soon as I would prep every client as you walk in the door. Hey, after today, we get everything done, you like our service, would you mind giving us a quick review? So now they're prepped and it's actually in their mind that they're going to give you a review at the end. Then ask for the review. So once everything's done, they look at, they see how well the service has been, then you get the review right then and there. If they're too busy, always follow up with a link. If they still haven't given a review, give them about a day or two, follow up with them again, because we want to try to get these reviews. And don't be scared to ask your clients for reviews. That's another thing. Don't live in scarcity with this, because if you're doing a good job, you should never be scared to ask for a review. All you're doing is asking for reflection on your business and your service. You should never be scared to get your client's opinion, ever, because it's only going to benefit you. Whether it was a good experience with a client or if it was a bad experience with a client, it's always going to benefit you because you're going to know what you're doing well, or you're going to know what you need to improve on. So every single client, you should be asking for a review because you need that feedback internally and you need it externally to show improve to your other customers. And then there's also good incentivization tools that you can use for referrals, right? You can incentivize for a review. So I do want to be, I want people to know that you can incentivize and then, say, hey, if you give me a review, I'll give you a gift card or something. But after you get the review, you can tell the client, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. It's going to help my business tremendously. If you want to refer us out to anybody that we'll take 10% off your next service here. Right? We do certain things like that here at SoTellUs. I do the same thing in my business. I'd recommend just running some form of incentive program for your clients so they actually have a reason to start referring you over. We all want people to refer us based off of our service. Somebody can swear by you up and down, love you to death, but it's still going to blank their mind, just like giving a review. This is why we do follow-ups, and this is why we incentivize people. This is an incentive world. So if you want to get a little bit more actual referrals, I'd always recommend incentivizing the customer a little bit. Just give them a little bit of a reason to actually send you over to somebody that they know, because they're also taking, in their mind, they're taking a risk, right? Maybe this was a great service for them, but in their mind, oh shoot, what if it's not as great for my friend over there? Maybe he has different expectations or whatnot. Well, at least at the very worst, even if it's something, maybe they referred you to a customer that you just could not satisfy, right? Everybody's dealt with a customer like that in their lifetime, where you could have paid them to clean their home or to clean their building, and they still would be upset. But at least this way, the customer is not going to be upset that you've already worked with, because you've already given them something for that referral. So those are two big things that I would recommend doing.
Wow. Yeah. And I love, yeah, I love what you said about not shying away from getting feedback, because especially starting out, I mean, you don't want to bring up maybe some type of negative experience or anything that happened, but I feel like just by asking for that feedback, that shows that you actually care about their experience. And it's actually, even if they're not happy, asking them about their experience can either help them to stay longer, or even you can probably upsell them. You know, if they're like really happy and they want to keep using your service, you know, you get them, it's maybe you get them from a monthly contract to like a yearly contract, you know, through that conversation or something like that. So yeah.
Exactly. And if they did have a bad experience, you know, you'd rather get the feedback right then and there, figure the solution out now, and not have to put it off till later on, because you want to get it figured out as soon as possible. You don't want to wait till they go online, go look you up, and then try to, negatively impact your online reputation after you've already left. Now, instead of, preventing this from happening, you're kind of playing cleanup, right? You're trying to figure out how we can get this person to remove the damage that they've done, right? Instead of actually just preventing that damage from going out in the first place. That's why we do that reputation monitoring, where we don't allow for starts and up to be posted, because we want every client to have the opportunity to fix the issue with the client beforehand.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of you who are watching this and you're not familiar with SoTellUs, so they actually have, and if you're interested in talking to Nick, you know, you can actually book a time below under this video. But basically, they have this app where you or someone on your team, whenever you complete a job or a cleaning, whatever it is, you can actually just right then and there have a written and or video review, and it'll just go right to your Google My Business page. And you can kind of just build up those reviews, you know, kind of as you go. There's a lot more to it, but I'm kind of simplifying it, you know, just to kind of make it more in a nutshell. But yeah, essentially, if you have some type of system where you can get those reviews, it's going to be a lot easier. And it's also going to basically just help you build it over time, and just show over time that Google, you know, trusts you as a business. They're going to rank you higher and higher when they see all those reviews come through and all that kind of stuff. But it is a long-term thing. You know, it's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to get 1 million reviews in a day. But, you know, if you have systems in place, you're going to gradually get more and more reviews, and you're going to get better rankings, and you're going to get more customers. So perfect. So another thing, actually, Nick, so another thing I wanted to touch on too, thank you for all those tips. That was amazing. And I think a lot of people watching this, they're probably just either just kind of transitioning to the commercial side, or maybe they're even just doing residential. But either way, you know, it's just a lot of simple things that, you know, I think could really help a lot of people. But another thing I wanted to touch on was, you know, I know you're a personal trainer. You've been starting your own businesses. Even now you're running, you know, your different businesses and everything. Would love to hear some feedback or maybe some tips on how to just be focused and stay focused, be productive, you know, what you can do with your mind or your body. Like, yeah, what would you recommend to people that are maybe, especially in cleaning? Because I feel like a lot of them are just driving all over the place, doing a million different things, you know? So.
Right. 100%. So there's a few great things. You want to make sure that your body and your mind are right every single day, right? So one thing is definitely time management, right? Figure out where you're spending your time at, and then figure out what your priorities are, and make sure that you set the time to actually focus and work on those priorities. And those priorities, obviously, our businesses are priorities, right? We're trying to grow here. We're trying to provide for our families, make more money, and, leaving a legacy behind. But you also need to set those priorities out for your family, right? You need to set those priorities out for all these different aspects in your life, from your fitness to your business to your, focus, as in like your mindset, and making sure that you're reducing your decision making, right? So that's another thing with time management, is when you have a set schedule and a good routine to follow every single day that is productive and that's actually helping you grow, then you're going to reduce the amount of decision making you're going to have to do throughout the day, which gives your brain more time and more capacity for creativity, problem solving, creating solutions for your company and your customers, and more time in case something does come out of nowhere that you have to deal with. Maybe there's a fire you got to put out in your business. You're going to have more of the mental capacity to actually deal with that because you haven't had to wake up this morning, decide what are you going to eat, what are you going to wear, how much, am I going to eat this morning or not? Am I going to work out? If you have all that stuff already prepared for your life the day before, then, the rest of the day is going to be easy. I definitely recommend every morning, whether you can get a full workout in or not, I tell everybody, move your body. Get 10 minutes of some form of exercise. And if you don't have even 10 minutes, do 20, air squats, drop down and do 15, 20 push-ups, do 10 burpees, do, 20 sit-ups or something. Just get your blood flowing, because as soon as your blood flowing, you're going to wake up immediately and a lot faster. You're going to get that blood flowing to your brain and that creativity. And again, all these other things that we need for our brain to function properly. We're going to get that blood flow there and start working a lot better. Hydration. Our first thing you should do when you wake up is hydrate. And you need to make sure that you're eating. A lot of business owners have a very tough time with this part, and that's keeping on making sure that your nutrition is intact. So a lot of people don't know our bodies need a specific amount of protein, fats, and carbs every single day just to function regularly. Not just high efficiently, but just regularly. If you ever find yourself with headaches or any form of fogginess, then you need to drink some water right away and get a good healthy meal in, whether that's some lean protein like chicken or fish, some good carbs, solid like rice, potatoes, and get some fats and some peanut butter or something like that. But yeah, I'd say every morning, time management. So have a schedule, create a routine. This is stuff that I do for my clients. Also move your body in the morning, even if you just go for a walk. I love going for walks. I go for a walk almost every single morning after I hit the gym. And then nutrition. Make sure you wake up. The first thing you should do is down a glass of water. I know everybody's heard this before. You should be almost a gallon deep by noon. That's just, if you want your body to feel better, you'll see a massive increase in your energy levels. And then just make sure you're eating right. If you only have a couple times a day to eat, try not to stop by and get some fast food. Again, this is where the time management portion will come in, right? If you prep your food and it's done the day before, you don't have to worry about where you're going to eat the next day. Now we're also reducing the decision making, right? So leaving more energy and space for your mental capacity, but also making your body feel better. You're going to have more energy, which in terms is going to leak into everything. It's going to leak into a better attitude. So you're going to spend more time you're going to have more quality time with your family. Whether you get a ton of time or not, the quality of the time spent is what really matters, right? So, everybody here who owns a business that has a family, you all want to spend time with your families. So make sure that even if you only have this small set of time some days to see them, make sure it's quality time. Make sure you're present. Make sure that you're feeling good enough to be in that moment and to really enjoy it. And then all the rest, obviously, we're going to spend, grinding out on these businesses and just trying to see what we can do and how well we can impact this world.
Yeah, and I think this is something that is not talked a lot about in this industry. It's different strategies, quoting, all these different, things like that. But I'm sure you can agree. I feel like the person is a direct reflection of what's happening in your business, and vice versa. What's happening in your business is a direct reflection of the person. So,
yep.
And I think anyone watching this too, if there's a lot of these things that Nick is saying that you're not currently doing, I would recommend, and this is just things that I found just personally, when I was starting out, I would recommend just trying to do one thing. Like one of the easiest things I think you mentioned was just drinking a glass of water. I feel like that is just so easy for anyone to do as soon as they wake up. And it, at least for me, makes a huge difference. Like I'm actually drinking water. I have my water right here. Like as we were talking, I've been drinking water because I didn't really have a glass this morning, to be honest. But usually I do. But yeah, these simple things make a huge difference. I would love to hear maybe your input on this. but yeah, like meal prep, staying organized, keeping a calendar as well. That's something I feel like we've introduced a lot of cleaning owners to that, kind of keeping an online calendar where you can book your walkthroughs and kind of schedule out, block out, all your times. And I usually schedule out Sundays to kind of just review the week, see what I have ahead. I mean, is there anything you recommend in terms of like time management, keeping organized, anything that's helped you?
Yeah, so plan your days. If you could plan your whole week out, spend an hour a week planning your week, because that hour you're gonna spend planning these days out, it's going to save you multiple hours throughout that day. So by actually taking the time out to go do that, and how Alex said, also even reflect on the week and where you can improve, that's just going to save you way more time, way more headache. And maybe you have like a crazy schedule like I do. Like I have meetings anytime from about 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. sometimes. So sometimes you might have a call booked in the middle of the day. That's what happens to me a lot. So this is why preparation is going to be so important, and why you should manage it, and why you should start, why I say create a routine. So I liked how Alex said, start with something simple. So you can consider this, like, it's called habit stacking. So start with a very simple, easy habit at the beginning. Like you said, the first thing you need to do when you wake up, go drink a glass of water. That's the first thing you should do. Go drink a glass of water. That's one good habit. That's one win that you just got already in the day. Right. And then you start building on top of that. Like, as soon as I drink a glass of water, I'm going to put my workout clothes on. Have your workout clothes set out the day before, and you're ready to go for that walk. Right. Or if you're ready to hit the gym, etc. But then you can start off with these easy, very simple tasks. If you have trouble creating habits, pick a habit that takes less than 2 minutes. Start with that first. Pick a habit that won't take more than 2 minutes of your morning, and then start building on top of that. Okay, a glass of water is pretty easy now to drink that before 10 o'clock or something, right? Okay, now my goal is going to be, I'm going to drink a whole liter of water before 10 o'clock. So you just start building on top of those things. Okay, the walk's gotten, as soon as I drink my water, I go for a walk. The walk's gotten pretty easy now. Okay, so instead, maybe I'll go for a 10-minute run, right? Then the 10-minute run will get easier. Start with these very simple habits that are still rewarding. And then as they become easy to you, right, then you start increasing the target on those habits, right? So if you're somebody that just hasn't been very physically active in recently, and you really want to get back into shape, just start doing things like that. Drink a glass of water in the morning. It's going to start your metabolism up. It's going to help with your energy. It's going to help you feel way better, and it's going to expand your gut in the morning, which again helps with your digestion and everything else. And then just go for that quick walk. If you have 5 minutes, go for a 5-minute walk. If you have 2 minutes, go for a 2-minute walk. It does not matter. Just create the habit. And then as it gets easier, your goals and your targets will get bigger, and you'll start wanting to move into more difficult things. So it's a lot of stuff that I work with on my clients, because it's just like, in working out, let's say, right? If you're somebody who's new and you've never really been to the gym before, let's say you've never really worked out, maybe a few times at PE or something, you're not going to go into the gym and start trying to max out on your squats, your bench press, and your deadlifts and all that stuff, right? No, like, the goal is, let's get moving. We'll start walking. Then maybe we start with some push-ups, squats, and sit-ups. Those are going to get easy. Now we start moving in. Let's start lifting some weights, start working on some machines. It's all about just starting with the simple, rewarding tasks at the beginning, that are very easy. And like I said, try to pick something that takes less than 2 minutes of your day, and then just start building on top of that. And as that goes on, it's just gonna you'll start seeing tremendous growth, because Alex kind of touched on this. Your business is a reflection of you. So the way you live your life in all aspects is basically what your business is going to reflect. So making sure, again, like I say, plan your days out the day before. If you're somebody like me who starts at 6 a.m. and you may not end till 6 p.m., then get a lot of that done beforehand. If you need to get up at 5 o'clock, you got to get up at 5 o'clock to get that stuff done. That's just a couple sacrifices we're going to have to make. But you will realize, like, as you start improving these things, your physical body, your health is going to reflect in your business, right? Your people like to say separate family and business, but it's impossible. As much as we like to believe that's real, I used to believe that. I used to be like, okay, I can, you know, come into work and just perform at 100% and be the best I can be and do the same for my clients. But when I go home, you know, I'm not connecting with my family as much, or I'm not spending time with them as much. Well, that's going to reflect into your business, because that stuff's going to sit in your mind, whether it's you're thinking about it consciously or subconsciously, it's going to show up. It's the same thing with your health. When you have less energy, you have, you know, a foggier head, you have less clarity, and it's going to show up in your business. It's going to show up in your decision making. So I tell people you should focus on the 4 core aspects of your life. That's your family, that's your finances, being your business, it's your fitness, and then your focus. You know, your focus being your mindset. How, you know, are you taking time out to reset? You know, if you're getting burnt out, what are you doing to actually help yourself reset and gain that energy back and get that clarity back? There's a bunch of different tools you can use for that as well.
Awesome. I also noticed that you had a tracker on your wrist. Do you find that helpful to track everything? Maybe your sleep, you know, your steps, all that kind of stuff.
100%. So this is called a Whoop. It's a little advanced. So the Whoops, these bands are like $30 maybe, but you got to pay monthly for it. It tracks everything from your, you know, how much strain your body's enduring every day. So, and it will tell you like how much strain you should do, like how hard you should work out today, where your heart rate should be. It will tell you when you should go to sleep, if you want to get a full recovery, when to wake up. I mean, it goes over basically everything. If you don't want to start on something like this right away, I mean, it'll help you really track that progress, and it will show you all the calories you're burning stuff as well, which would go into like, if you want to lose weight, you want to make sure you're burning slightly more calories than you're intaking. If you want to gain weight, like, you know, you want to be intaking and eating more calories than you're burning. It will help you track all that stuff. You can start with, and it will track your steps and all that great stuff as well. It tells you how often you slept. But if you need to start with something simpler right now, I mean, you could start with, I mean, if you have an Apple Watch, that could track all your stuff. I know most people nowadays got Apple Watches or Android watches. Those are great. I mean, they're a little bit less advanced as far as the statistics it's going to show you with that stuff, but just, I mean, it will still track your sleep, your steps. It should track all that other stuff. You can get a cheap little $20 Fitbit on Amazon that you can put into your phone. That will help you track that. But yeah, just keep track of, you know, how much you're moving. There's a simple goal right there. Set it for yourself that you take 5,000 steps a day. If you're in the cleaning industry, I guarantee every one of you guys are taking a lot more than that.
Probably like 50,000 or like
yeah,
5 million, at least 5 million, you know?
Exactly. So, and that's another good win for you guys. I mean, if you go and look at that at the end of the day, you're like, holy crud, I took 20,000 steps today, which is like the equivalent of burning like 2,000 calories and walking like, you know, 2 miles or whatever. It's like at that point, that's another win. So you're just going to also build more confidence for yourself. You're going to see that you're a little bit more capable than you think, because you guys, everybody who's watching this, if you're in the cleaning industry, you have a physically demanding job. So, you know, don't sell yourself short of like, I can't get to this, I can't get to that. I'm not able to go, you know, do this, or I can't do push-ups, or whatever the case is. Again, like I said, start with something simple, make it short and easy and sweet, make it rewarding, and then you start building from there. But again, set the time for those priorities, because your health is just as big of a priority as your business. Your family is just as big of a priority as your business. Your health, as far as your mental health, is just as big of a priority as your business. You take care of yourself, it's going to take care of your business, and all around, it's just going to take care of your life. So,
love that. Another thing I want to mention, and this is something I'm even, you know, starting to work on, is not just for myself, but also to kind of, you know, stack those habits, but also for my team. Like I'm trying to, maybe this is something we could brainstorm a little bit, because it's something I want to, you know, figure out. But imagine if you were able to help your team, you know, kind of in a maybe even a competitive way, you know, kind of share their different, you know, their steps, or maybe like, you know, things that they're doing in terms of health, you know, you maybe going over not just their, you know, their career goals and, you know, how you can help them with that, but also like on a health way, because, you know, that's going to allow them to be happier. That's going to allow them to be even more productive, you know, which helps in the end, helps you as well. So it's like, it's kind of like a win-win in my opinion. So, I mean, if you're going on this journey yourself, and you have a whole team, don't be afraid to kind of like share that with them, or maybe even see if you can almost like gamify it, see if how everyone's doing towards their goals and stuff. That's something I was recently thinking about, because even if it's like 1%, like everyone becomes, and you yourself as a business owner included, like if you get 1% or 5% every month better, like that's going to just by the end of the year, like that result in terms of your, how productive you are and all that is going to be kind of crazy. So
Yeah, 1% a day is what I tell everybody. You just need to get 1% better every day. And if you have a good routine, a good habit set in place that you know are benefiting your life, like, I mean, if you go for a walk every day, like let's say that's all you did for a year, right? Or let's say, you know what, better yet, let's say you did 10 push-ups every day. That was your daily non-negotiable, right? So find a non-negotiable thing for yourself for every day. You take 2 minutes out to do this thing. Doesn't matter what the case is. You could be on vacation. You could be working. It doesn't matter. You're going to get that thing done. Let's say yours is 10 push-ups a day. By the end of the year, 10 times 365, right? That's going to be 3,650 push-ups. Hoping my math is correct. That you just did in that year. You got over 3,600 push-ups stronger in 1 year. All you had to do was take 30 seconds out of your day to do 10 push-ups. That's 1% better every day, right? It's building blocks. 1% every day is 365% better a year. I mean, if you created a schedule, and that's why I'm so adamant about this. I've seen it work in my own life tremendously. In that by the end of the year, you'd be unrecognizable to who you were at the beginning. If you stuck with if you figured out a good routine and something to improve your life in all those aspects every day, just 1%. You don't have to do a ton of extra stuff every day. You don't have to make every day insane. Just creating a solid routine and then, keeping track of that progression, 1% better every day. By the end of the year, you would be unrecognizable. You wouldn't even recognize that person from January 1st. And you don't have to also, think about like, okay, I'm going to do these, new year, new me stuff, which is great. But it's also another habit that a lot of people have, right? They want to start crazy in January and they fall off because the habit they've created throughout the last 20, 30 years, 10 years, whatever the case is I'm going to start this day, putting it off. You start, and then inevitably, because it's been your habit for the last so many years, you fall back off again. Towards December, it comes back around. This is the year I'm going to get to it. This is the year that I'm going to do it. So start today. That's what I always tell people, start today, do something simple, do something rewarding, and something that's going to help improve your life all around. But yeah, I definitely like the fact of just, getting 1% better every single day. If you do that, like I said, third time, you will be unrecognizable to yourself, not to just everybody else around you, to yourself by the end of that year.
Wow, very well said. Yeah, I first of all just really appreciate you coming on here. That advice, I think everyone can always improve. I think I can improve. Everyone can improve, and just that 1% in the end is going to make such a huge difference. So, if anyone here, listening to this is interested in improving their presence on Google, getting referrals, capitalizing on the excellent service that you're already giving, I would highly recommend scheduling a call with Nick. He'll show you the platform. He'll also give you a custom game plan and strategy. Even if you don't end up working with him, he'll give you that strategy that you can take and you can use for your business to get excellent results. And on another note as well, Nick is also a personal trainer. So if you have any questions about health, and fitness and, seeing how that can translate into your goals as a business owner in your life, maybe even becoming more present with your family, as well as other parts of your life, highly recommend also scheduling a call with Nick. I don't know if there's like a separate link for that. Maybe I can include both, but, yeah, Nick, thank you again, so much for coming on. This advice is priceless. So I hope people can watch this and take action and start seeing some results.
I do as well. Yeah. And as far as the SoTellUs, if you guys jump on a demo with me, I will give you actually 7 strategies on how to attract new customers with reviews and referrals. It is all things that SoTellUs can provide, but it's also things you could do by yourself. So regardless if you decide to move forward with SoTellUs or not, you're going to leave with value. As far as for a link for my own business, Alex, yeah, I'll send you that over. I have a link that people can schedule a call with me on that. It's the same thing. Whether or not you decide to use me in your fitness or your mindset coaching, I want to leave you with value. That's just my whole purpose here. So yeah, I'll send those links over to you, Alex. But if anybody has any questions, obviously schedule time with me. I'm sure Alex will put my email in there as well, and just feel free to reach out.
Thank you again, and I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks.